Her name is synonymous with the civil rights movement. The story is iconic, taught in every classroom. In 1955, Rosa Parks, a tired seamstress, refused to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. This act of quiet courage sparked the revolution. But like so much of our history, the truth is more complicated. The truth is, the first person to refuse a seat, to be dragged off the bus, to be arrested and thrown in jail, wasn't Rosa Parks. It was a 15-year-old girl named Claudette Colvin. Welcome to Anonymous Narrative. Today, we uncover the story they decided to forget. We explore why the civil rights leaders chose a narrative of peaceful dignity over the fiery, complex truth of a teenage girl, and what that decision cost history. The day was March 2nd, 1955. This was 9 months before Rosa Parks' famous arrest. Claudette Colvin was a smart, fiercely independent high school student in Montgomery, known for being politically aware. She was riding home on the city bus. The bus was full. When a white woman boarded, the driver, Robert Clear, ordered 4 black passengers to give up their row. 3 of them moved, but Claudette, sitting over the empty colored section, refused. When the driver threatened to call the police, Claudette famously stood her ground and declared, "It is my constitutional right." She had just finished a school unit on Black history and the US Constitution. She was educated, she was angry. And she was right. She was dragged off the bus by 2 police officers, handcuffed, and driven to jail. She was terrified, crying, and, as we later learn, she was already pregnant. Her act was the perfect catalyst for a boycott. So why was Claudette Colvin immediately excluded from the historical narrative? This is where the narrative shifts from personal courage to calculated political strategy. The local civil rights leaders, including Martin Luther King Jr., were looking for a symbol to launch their movement. They felt Claudette Colvin was not the right symbol. She was considered too controversial. The reasons were complex and brutally pragmatic. 1. The pregnancy. An unmarried pregnant teenager risked moral condemnation from the religious community they needed to mobilize. 2. The temperament. Claudette was described as too emotional and feisty, which the leaders worried would undermine the carefully crafted narrative of passive, dignified resistance. 3. The appearance. Rosa Parks, by contrast, was an adult, a respected secretary for the NAACP, and had the dignified middle-class image they believed would appeal best to the white majority and the courts. It was a deliberate, strategic erasure. Parks became the flawless, perfect icon. Claudette, the brave, flawed teenager, was relegated to a footnote. But history, as we explore here at Anonymous Narrative, is rarely a single, clean line. In 1956, she became one of the 4 plaintiffs in the landmark federal court case, Browder v. Gale, which successfully declared bus segregation unconstitutional. Without her, the legal foundation for the movement may not have been established. When we simplify history, we lose the messiness, the sacrifice, and the complexity that makes these movements so powerful. The story of Claudette Colvin proves that change is rarely the result of a single, perfect act. It is the result of many flawed, complicated, incredibly brave people whose names and whose narratives deserve to be remembered. We are committed to giving those voices back their due. If you are interested in the true, unvarnished stories that history tried to hide, subscribe to Anonymous Narrative.